Nothing in life can be certain, except for death, taxes, and an endless barrage of Sonic cartoons. There are so many Sonic cartoons. Many TV networks have brought the blue blur on the small screen, well, to mixed results. Some better than others. Netflix is stepping up to the challenge with Sonic Prime next year. There's no better time to explore the Hedgehog's televised legacy, so I finally watched Sonic SatAM. Sonic SatAM is a 1993 dystopian horror about animal insurgents fighting a mad genius. It's the plot of Sonic Forces, but it's actually good. The show is famous for its dark and dramatic subject matter. To distinguish itself from other Sonic media, fans dubbed it SatAM for its Saturday morning time slot. Sonic SatAM is a flawed, yet fascinating series. I adore the vivid art direction and effortless emotional gravitas, but some of its writing choices were so grating, they almost soured my experience. Does this 28-year-old show still hold up? Well, you came to the right guy. Doing TV retrospectives years after the fact is kind of my thing, so let's find out whether or not Sonic SatAM truly holds up. Sometime in the 4th millennium, mad scientist Julian Robotnik uses his robotic army to conquer the planet Mobius. He takes over the planet's capital city and transforms it into a metallic wasteland. Sonic and his companions manage to escape, but those who weren't so lucky were roboticized into Robotnik's mindless worker bots. 10 years later, Sonic and his friend Princess Sally establish the Freedom Fighters, a rebel squad set on ending Eggman's reign. The group usually rescues animal prisoners, sabotages Eggman's supply lines, or does reconnaissance. Reconnaissance! The gang's base of operation is Knothole, a village that Eggman somehow can't spot, despite having advanced technology beyond anyone's grasp. The team's de facto leader is Sonic himself. In this version, he's a boastful and rude teenager. He takes every compliment he gets.
You're the best, Sonic.
I know. That is not a dream. That is one hedgehog hunk.
Sonic, will you get serious?
But he earns his reputation through his quick reflexes and many rescues. He distracts Eggman's robots while the team extracts vital information. He might be the most revered member of the Freedom Fighters, but the heart of the team is his closest ally. Princess Sally Acorn is the brains of the operation. She was next in line as Mobotropolis' queen, but Eggman took over and threw her father into a hell dimension. She leads the team during their many excursions. She carries Nicole, a primitive smartphone that provides schematics and convenient exposition. Her no-nonsense demeanor anchors Sonic's more reckless tendencies.
I'm juicing back.
Sonic, I'm sure that message was from my father.
Her goal, besides defeating Eggman, is to rescue her father from a realm called the Void. Moreover, Sally enjoys bantering with Sonic.
So, you'll think before you act, right?
You make my heart pound. There's nothing like a chili dog.
Oh, brother.
The two of them develop a mutual bond and eventually become a couple. The third Freedom Fighter is Bunny Rabbit, a cyborg with a southern accent. The team rescued Bunny before her roboticization was complete. She packs cybernetic muscle and telescopic limbs. Wait, this looks familiar. Oh god, did she inspire the wearer? Bunny exhibits softer tendencies like reading stories to Tails and calling people sugar.
There you go, Sugar Hog!
Bunny comforts Sally when she doubts her own abilities. Moreover, Bunny is always ready to fend for the team. Then there's Tails. He's a kid with big aspirations, but not much experience or courage. In most episodes, he's regulated to the sidelines.
Ew, gross!
Sonic acts as a mentor to Tails. Both boys share a wholesome brotherly relationship.
Wow, how fast did we go, Sonic?
We were scooting and rooting, little bro.
Next up is Rotor, a walrus with a knack for inventing gadgets. He doesn't really add much to the cast. The last member is...
What does that fuel have that I do not?
Moving on. The series is divided into 2 seasons, each 13 episodes long. In a regular episode, the Freedom Fighters go on a mission, Eggman throws a wrench their way, Sonic blasts through the obstacle, and the animals succeed. The writing is well put together and cohesive, unlike its brother series. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog. The other show, dubbed AOSTH for short, was a slapstick comedy that went completely unhinged. I only saw the first episode, and it's the definition of a fever dream. The funny thing is, SatAM and Adventures of were made at the same time. That's right, the same production company, same voice actor, on the same channel. Two opposite shows airing parallel to one another. Man, self-competition is weird. The point is, SatAM takes its time to establish a mood, while the slapstick series is sensory overload. Don't worry, I'll get to the slapstick series in a future video. Sonic SatAM prioritizes atmosphere and character. We get scenes where the team chills out and reflects on their lives. It doesn't shy away from 90s quirkiness, but it knows when to treat the scene with weight. But the show's greatest feat is getting me invested with the team's struggles. I have a question for you, my loyal viewer. What's your favorite episode from Sonic SatAM? If you leave your answer below, it'll greatly boost engagement. My favorite episode is where Sonic first reunites with his Uncle Chuck. It demonstrates the show's greatest strength, its emotional connection. Sonic stumbles upon his roboticized uncle during a mission. Uncle Chuck is programmed to capture his nephew, but Sonic uses a power ring to knock him back to his senses. Both hedgehogs are happy to see each other again.
Is that you, Sonny?
Uncle Chuck! Man, I sure missed you.
I missed you too.
Power rings are synthesized rings that grant a temporary boost to Sonic's power. In the mainline games, rings only serve as points in health. SatAM gives him a solid narrative purpose. Sonic can only store a few rings in his backpack. Long ago, Chuck invented a 3D power ring printer for Sonic, which can only produce 2 rings a day. A common complaint I've heard with the series is that the power rings are essentially Deus Ex Machinas. Well, they might hold immense power, but they are a limited resource, so Sonic only uses them when absolutely necessary. The series makes it clear that Sonic's success comes more from his improvised maneuverability than sheer power. Plus, he can't succeed without help from his friends, so the tension is still there. Sonic, Uncle Chuck, and the team sabotage Eggman's mining operation. Unfortunately, Chuck's programming kicks back in. Sonic tries to snap him out of it, but he calls for backup. The team reluctantly abandons Chuck. Sonic cries, saying he'll get his uncle back.
Hang in, Uncle Chuck. We'll be back.
I appreciate this rendition of Sonic for having an emotionally vulnerable side. SatAM adds weight to the team's goals. If Sonic doesn't defeat Eggman, he too will live a fate far worse than death. It adds a layer of subtext to his frequent one-liners.
Now what are you up to?
About 3-4, give or take an inch.
In reality, is Sonic's coping mechanism. Jaleel White lends his voice to the Hedgehog. He did an excellent job portraying Sonic's more sensitive side. Compare this character to the Sonic in Sonic Forces. For those who haven't played it, the story in Sonic Forces is completely worthless. It's devoid of any charm or substance. Plus, it does nothing with its Eggman rules the world premise. I remember one scene in particular where the game claimed Sonic was tortured for 6 months.
I got 6 months of payback I'm just dying to spend.
How does he feel when his time is finally up? Does he feel sad? Does he feel anxious? Nope, he's perfectly fine. Like, what? You don't have a plot point like that and just shake it off. In SatAM, you see how Eggman's actions impact the mental state of our heroes. Sonic showcases deep remorse for his uncle and his past life. He frequently gets worried for his friend's well-being. And one more thing, Eggman is actually threatening. You know, instead of just standing around delivering exposition and just floating away. I won't harp on Forces too long, but seriously, it's embarrassing that a low-budget 90s show did Sonic's character more justice than a multi-million-dollar video game. I don't have much hope for Sonic Rangers, or whatever the next game in 2021 is called. One thing Sonic SatAM does go overboard is with Sonic's quips. Some slang is way too corny, even by 90s standards.
Rippin' slip time. Time to motor.
Now, I got used to Sonic's quips because he has other emotions and he knows when to cut the chatter. Plus, the dialogue is sometimes hit or miss.
Sonic! Sonic! Oh, this is terrible.
No, we're not talking about him. The voice acting is actually very splendid. The characters sound exactly how I would imagine them. My favorite performance is Jim Cummings as Dr. Robotnik.
Oh, that's good. That's very good indeed.
Now this dude, this incarnation of Robotnik, is menacing. Now, Sonic SatAM doesn't call him Eggman once, but for convenience sake, I'll stick to the more modern name. This Eggman is ruthless and without mercy. He comedically bosses around his nephew Snively. Eggman can be gross, but also quite short-sighted. He built several inventions like a speed-detecting railgun and a Sally clone.
Except I'm not gonna piss on the earth. I'm gonna go higher.
But Sonic always finds a way to tarnish his plans. Plus, this Eggman can be quite scary at times. He even manages to torture the freedom fighters.
I am thinking one lesson is all I am needing.
No, I was afraid of this. No. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce Antoine Depardieu. Antoine is quite possibly SatAM's biggest failure. He was a French bodyguard for Sally's kingdom before the Great Takeover. He simps for Sally's attention super hard, but he's a coward and full of delusion. Wow, we're really breaking stereotypes, guys.
That silly Oged's fuel is just jealous of my incroyable skill.
And you're really starting to tick me off.
Antoine acts as a punching bag to his more competent peers. He frequently clashes with Sonic's ego. Look, I get what the writers were going for, an easy source of comic relief. Yet, he never evolves from his butt monkey status. In one episode, Sonic crashes Antoine's house and turns it into a man cave. Or would it be a hedgehog cave? I really don't know the rules of it. Sonic drives Antoine mad, but Antoine doesn't succeed in kicking him out. Antoine's only joke is total pushover, which would be okay in small doses, but it's repeated over and over and over and over again. Oh, and combine this with the fact that he gets way more screen time than the other freedom fighters combined. It makes his presence a huge annoyance. Okay, to be fair, I did like the scene where Snively tortures him with badly prepared French dishes.
I will make some crepe Suzette.
You are using too much of the butter. No.
I know.
Eggman's war against animals and the environment is the forefront of the series. SatAM mirrors the theme of environmentalism from the Genesis games. Eggman's empire represents the greed of consuming everything and laying a robotic waste. In those old Genesis games, Eggman would take all those small creatures and put them into capsules in order to harvest them and make them into robots. This is something that SatAM takes and runs with it all the way. Team Knothole stands for sustainable living, like using as little energy as necessary and living in harmony with nature. Pollution and factories are at the forefront of many episodes. The series expertly weaves this theme organically without devolving into a Captain Planet episode. I mean, they do talk about the environment and Eggman's damage, but it's done in a way that it doesn't beat you over the head. Sonic forces straight the whole "with teamwork we can fix the planet, guys" message at the end, and it pales in comparison to SatAM's subtle themes. The first season does a good job with all the elements I just talked about. The episodes have good variety, the writing is cohesive, and it's a breezy time. But season 2 is where the show reached for the stars. Season 2 comprises the Doomsday Arc. You could watch Season 1 in any order, but Season 2 follows an overarching narrative. This makes the story much richer and easier to discuss. In episode 14, Sally and the team scavenge for mechanical parts. Sally figures out how to make a de-roboticizer, but doesn't have the right items. Sonic rescues Ari the Ram from all those Eggman's robots, but Ari leads Sonic into a trap. Ari struck a deal with Eggman to free his own band of freedom fighters, but the Doctor pulls a double cross. Oops. Sonic defeats Eggman's rum hack of Sonic's spin bulb, but the game's hell portal sucks everything in its wake. Ari apologizes to Sonic, explaining he did what he had to do. He reveals to Sonic that Sally's dad has a list of other rebel groups in the wild. Sonic tries to save him, but the portal gobbles Ari in the building, with Sonic barely escaping in time.
Ari.
Gone. He's inside that thing. He saved me from going in there.
I appreciate the earnest attempt at addressing real moral dilemmas. Maybe not super real, but at least something that feels tangible with the rest of the show. In the episode I just discussed, Ari was desperate and made a bargain with the devil. There are real consequences. One episode later, Team Sonic snaps Uncle Chuck out of robot control. Chuck then decides to become a spy for the Freedom Fighters. Sonic objects to this risky endeavor, but Chuck assures him it will be alright. Chuck discovers that Eggman is building a Doomsday machine, which will exterminate the planet's ecosystem. In the meantime, the team seeks new recruits. Team Sonic's newest member is Dulcie the Dragon. She's great with breath powers, but a total klutz when it comes to landing. During Season 2's production, the executives requested a new female character. The show skips over her initiation with Team Sonic, so her presence comes off as jarring. I didn't mind it, cause I like dragons. During the Great Takeover, Eggman captured and roboticized most of the dragons. In a later episode, Dulcie and the team race for an unhatched dragon egg. After thwarting Eggman, Dulcie accepts her true role as a dragon guardian, but her small actions contribute to the overarching story. Compare that to Antoine, who has like 4 focus episodes, and not one of them flushes him out. Sally mines enough data to get the D-Cyborg machine to work. She does a test on Chuck and Bunny, and it's a rousing success. Well, until they revert back to their cyborg selves. Sally concludes the only way to perfect her machine is through the past. Sonic and Sally retrieve a time stone and travel to the day Eggman conquers the city. They hang out with their toddler selves. I see you, Sonic movie. I see where you got your baby designs from. Sonic and Sally eventually meet up with Chuck. Uncle Chuck reveals he made the roboticizer machine to extend one's lifespan, but Eggman's takeover quickly ensues. Sonic and Sally do time-altering shenanigans and transport their kid selves to safety. Both of them head back to the future and abandon the stone. Blast to the Past is generally considered to be the crown jewel of the series, and I can see why. It's emotional, provides a lot of good backstory, and fleshes out Sonic and Sally's relationship. The team makes an alliance with other freedom fighter groups and discovers more of Eggman's endgame. Eggman learns about the deep power stones, which are stones hidden in the earth. It's said that the power of those stones is 9,000 times greater than the power rings. As the team prepares their final assault, Tails gets his own spotlight. Sonic and Tails go on a recon mission at a desert factory and cause some trouble. Tails comes up with a plan to trick Eggman into grabbing a fake stone, and surprisingly, it works. Like Sonic Adventure 1, it was nice seeing Tails grow as a fighter, but unfortunately, his arc was cut short. In the series finale, Team Sonic launches an offense on Eggman's Doomsday machine. Eggman upstages them and puts Sonic in his tracks. Sonic and Sally combine the Power Stones, and together they warp Eggman and his weapon into oblivion. The rebels celebrate their victory. Sonic and Sally finally kiss. In a surprise cliffhanger, Snively survives and takes over the Empire. There were plans for a season 3, but that never materialized. And that concludes the plot of Sonic SatAM. Sonic SatAM rises above the standard of generic 90s cash grabs. It exudes expansive emotional depth, charming writing, and great atmosphere. The show might have lasted for only 26 episodes, but its legacy might surprise you. The world and characters of SatAM were the basis for the Sonic Archie comics, which ran for 25 years. I never personally read those comics, and I don't intend to, judging by the convoluted timeline, but a quarter century's worth of ideas spawning from this one cartoon? That's rather impressive. SatAM did the whole Eggman rules the world plot way before Sonic Forces, and way better. Plus, it's one of the earliest examples of showcasing an emotionally vulnerable Sonic. This series proved that you can have spectacle without sacrificing character drama. Now for the big question. Do I recommend the series to newcomers? That really depends. The outdated slang and certain quirks of the 90s will be a culture shock for newbies. Especially for people like me who were born after 1997. Also, you're gonna need a high tolerance level for Antoine. I watched Sonic SatAM for curiosity's sake, and I had a good time. If you're the kind of Sonic fan hungry for a less polished, but emotionally resonant experience, then give SatAM a try. Thanks for watching. And remember, no hedgehogs were harmed in the making of this video.